Hey friends, Jesse's still here. Wanted to follow up on the Moral Revolution workshop we had a couple weeks ago. It was such a phenomenal time, and I'm so glad for many of you that were able to be there. It was life changing and impacting. I've enjoyed so much the conversations I've had since then. And we said many times during the workshop that we were just trying to start the conversation. There were so many things that we said and brought up that really were just scratching the surface. And as we said, we just wanted to start the conversation. So I know that many of you have been thinking about this, talking about this, and I want you to know we are not going to leave you hanging. We want to walk with you through this journey. And so Pastor Sean Holland and I will be producing some short videos to continue the conversation and to equip you with practical tools and tips to walk out this revolution that the Lord has started in you. And I'm so excited. So as we head into this holiday season, I know some of you are students and young people. You'll be heading back to see family over the holidays, and maybe you've got a little extra time on your hands. And I just wanted to take advantage of that to share a few minutes and some very practical things with you just to continue on this journey. What do you say? So like I said, I want to give you some encouragement, some practical tips, and a few questions that you really need to wrestle with over the next couple weeks and months. The first one is don't forget. Keep talking about this stuff. Find ways to keep this conversation going. One, talk to Jesus. Talk to Jesus about your moral revolution. Talk to him about your purity. Talk to him about the feelings you're having and the struggles you're having. Be raw and honest with him. Just bring it all to him. He is the answer and he's the solution. So talk about it. Number two, talk to a pastor or mentor. Tell them exactly where you're at in your journey, what the Lord is bringing up right now, and how you can be accountable to them. Three, talk to your friends. There's a million things you'll be talking about, and a lot of it is just a bunch of nothing. Why don't you bring up the stuff that really matters and the stuff that all of you and your friends are dealing with every day? This fight to walk with Jesus in holiness with a clean heart, a pure conscience. It's where we're all at. So be the one, be the bold one, bring it up. Use the moral revolution as an excuse. Say, hey, I went to this workshop a couple weeks ago and they said this. What do you think about that? Get the conversation going. This is how you start a revolution. You get people on a grassroots level talking and embracing something different than what we've seen so far, something different than the world that we currently live in. This is where it's going to start. Talk to people about it. And now, a couple of questions that I want you to wrestle with. I want you to ask yourself these questions. What is God's standard for me? What is the standard for my thought life? What is the standard for my personal purity? What is his standard for my singleness? Or if you're in a relationship, what is God's standard for this relationship? And know that once you determine what God's standard is for you personally in your moral revolution, for your thought life, your purity, and your relationships, or your singleness, that God is going to provide you the abundant grace to live that standard. He never gives us a standard that's impossible without his help. Now, you may feel like you do not have what it takes. Good. Run to Jesus. He will give you the abundant grace to apprehend his standard every time and believe that his grace is sufficient for you. And once you've established what you know his standard is, knowing that he is with you, he's for you, he's fighting for you, and he has victory for you, then ask yourself, what steps do I need to take to apprehend his grace in this area in my own personal revolution? Now, one practical area we didn't get to talk about, I really wanted to talk about, and we'll talk more about later, is the area of the internet and pornography. There is so much out there, so much illicit material that we stumble upon, sometimes on accidents and sometimes on purpose. While I've got you here, maybe you're watching this on YouTube. Here's 1-2 punch of what you can do to help yourself. You can scroll down to the bottom of that YouTube page, and there are boxes and links. One of them is restricted mode. Click that and turn restricted mode on. It's that easy. It will stop you from seeing material that could be questionable. Now, it's not fail safe, but it is helpful. I'll talk about that in a second. The other thing you should do is go to Google. On the Google homepage, search page, do the same thing. You can scroll down and turn on safe search. Now, these two things could easily help you win the battle 80 to 90% more. Here's why. One, you won't see things necessarily on accident. And if you're wanting to look at illicit material, let's be honest, you may be tempted to do so. You're going to have to push through that barrier. You're going to have to jump over that whole hurdle. You're going to have to change that setting to do so. And what is helpful about that is there are many times where thoughts of temptation are swaying us, and in the moment we just go there. Now, having these barriers in place forces you to take another 30 seconds to think about what you're doing. And sometimes you just need 30 seconds of clarity to say, what am I doing right now? Is this really what I want to do right now? And let those barriers check you. And that's your moment to say, whoa, 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 whoa. It's time to get off this computer and go talk to a real human being and be with people and let my relational needs be met instead of operating from loneliness and a relational vacuum that's making me want to go to sin. So 2 tips. Fix your YouTube, fix your Google search options. You may want to look into other filtering and stuff, but that's for another conversation. Hey, I've given you a lot to think about today already. Keep the conversation going. Talk to Jesus, talk to a mentor, talk to your friends about your moral revolution. And let's go. Ask yourself those questions. What is God's standard for me, my thought life, my purity, my relationships? Write it down and then apprehend God's grace for victory in those things. He has it for you. What are the practical steps you need to do? And check your internet settings. Fix them. Hey, maybe you don't even need to get on your computer unless you're going to watch some encouraging videos like this one. Hey, I love you. I'll be talking to you really soon. Bye.